The Black Fat Femme Podcast is a production of iHeartRadio and Dr. John Paul, LLC. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Black Fat Femme Podcast, where all the intersections of identity are celebrated. My name is John, also known as Dr. John Paul. And while my sugar might be going up and down like the stock market, the one thing that is steady around here is mother is here for a nap. How are you today, Joho? How are things?
First of all, girl, I am in fluorescent lighting right now. This is
Yes,
criminal.
it's
This is
giving.
nasty. It's not giving. Girl, I look so nasty. Why
So
is an overhead light?
it's
What?
giving uncunt. It's
It's
giving,
giving very uncunty. Like I have the
okay.
charisma you need to talent, but the lights are not my friend today.
No, it's
Ugh,
giving store lighting.
it's giving right. I'm like, girl, what
Back of Ross.
in the year of our Lord and Savior 2025? Like, what is happening? But anyways, family, is your girl Jordan, aka Joho. I'm here to tell y'all that I am done with
Okay.
everything.
Yeah,
And not for any
fair.
particular reason. I'm just done with it all because I can be. Because bitch,
Mhm.
I's tired. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's
I am
fair.
so tired. Like I woke up today and I said,
Mhm.
why am I awake? I want to be in bed
Yeah.
still. Like
Mhm.
the world's come too far. Like
Tea.
listen, I,
The Pope is out. The
the
Pope left.
the
The Pope said,
the Pope is
I gotta
dying
go.
these streets. Like
Mo- It
actually,
was like, I've
let me not
seen
say
enough.
that because I will get for sure a knock on my door by Secret Service. But so Chris, make sure you believe that part. But people are here killing people in the streets, okay? Because I'm not trying to get my ass got. But
I'm
it's
screaming because the
wild
Pope
time.
said, "Who? What? Where?
Did
Get
you
somebody else
see?
to do it."
There's it was like a beam of like I want to say it was like Real Housewives or the Housewives are like Bad Girls Club,
Yeah,
but the girl shook her hand. The girl like
yeah.
it's like someone shook her hand and then she walked away and she was like, I shook her hand, her spirit bit me. She had venom inside. And I said, that's what that's what Pope Francis said, and I was taken out. But
The Pope
also
said,
may
"I
his memory
gotta
be a blessing for people
go."
who really loved him.
Yeah,
Just be real.
but you know what? You know what though? Even though the Pope is up out of here, we are not alone by ourselves today.
Yeah.
So what I will say is this: today we are joined in our third seat by a doll that both you and your mama love. She is a
Okay.
writer, composer, director, and activist whose work has garnered her
Period.
acclaim from both Billboard and Outfest. Girl, now let's clock it. Clock that T. Not everybody gets on Billboard's radar. I just want to make
Okay.
sure that everybody in their mama know that. So today we are joined by the one and only Star Amerazu. Did I say that right?
You said you were close enough, Diva. It's
Okay.
Star Amerasu.
Amerasu. Okay, I know that's right. Well, I tried. But thank you so
You
much for
did.
being here. How is you?
You slayed it. I'm doing good, girl. I feel very much the same. Kind of
Mhm.
like day by daying at this very moment in time.
Yes, yes. We
Girl, as we
definitely
all are. Oof.
right there with both of you. Both of you. Just right there with both of you.
Girl. I had to go outside today. I went on a hike. I said, let me go ahead and talk to the spirits in the forest, child.
Amen. Amen. In the
Come on,
trees.
come come on, Shinto goddess, which we will get into later because I know all
Oh.
about Amaterasu, okay, girl. But for today's
We'll
Yes.
episode,
get
just
into
to,
her later.
Yes. Amen.
as we start
Amen.
today's episode, we're gonna give our girl some flowers, Miss Tisha Campbell, and our still here segment. I'm gonna kick off today by
Mhm.
asking something that Star revels in daily. I want to ask the question for all of us here: what does it mean to serve? CUNT cunt, baby. I know for me, it's just a whole presence. It's like an attitude. It's a way of life, a way of being. It's one of those things you don't gotta talk about if you are about it. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you ain't got no traffic because you stay in your lane. It means you
Yes.
feel your best in everything that you do, and you look your best because you're feeling your best. Like it's just that like if you have to try to explain it, no, you don't have it. You know what I'm saying?
You,
Like
you
not
don't
everyone
have
has
it.
it. So that's
Yeah.
what it means to me. I'm curious what it means to y'all though. Let's
Yeah. What
start. We're
about
gonna
you,
go to you first, then last John.
Okay, serving cunt. This is what we're talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah.
I feel like cunt is a state of mind. And like your version of cunt is your version of cunt. I think having
Mm,
that confidence to serve whatever you're serving. If it's I'm the garbage man, then that's what you serve, and you better serve it well. If you're serving I'm the assistant manager to the regional manager at a
Yes.
paper
Yes.
company, then that's what you're serving as well. And for me personally,
Mhm.
I just think that I am one of the most iconic dolls to
Yes.
I know that's right.
of the modern
I
age,
know
and
that's right.
so
Yes.
that gives me a joy and a pleasure to serve cunt daily.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, yeah. Wow, what a moment. I never understood what serving cunt was until I started realizing that a lot of the ways I felt about myself were rooted in anti-blackness, fat phobia, and queer phobia. And so like once I was able to get out of that mindset, I was like, "Oh, I'm that bitch." Like I
Mm.
really am that girl. And when I started to like really embrace my softness and my feminist, when I was getting my nails done, when I got a good bag to carry, it just all started feeling like, oh, I'm that bit like, and you can't take it. You can't. So yes, so I agree that cunt is a state of mind, and I see people look at me and try to compute my energy, and it's like, eat it, doll. Chomp, 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 chomp. Like you can't. The afterglow of my Louis Vuitton perfume says you can't take it, right? Like you'll
And they
never be
can't.
me.
And
You'll
they
never
can't.
be me,
The
and
ne-
you'll never be us on a good day. Like all
okay.
three of us, you'll never be us, and that is the moment. That is what cunt is.
They're not even on your
You can't
best day
take
will
it.
you be us, okay?
Literally, you can wake up
Period, girl.
tomorrow and you're still going to be at the bottom. Like literally, you'll
I've
never
been
get it.
saying this.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Mhm.
You won't
Yes.
get it. You
I
can't get it.
always think of that song, Gucci Gucci, that like this old ass song by Kreayshawn, this girl from the Bay.
Krayshawn,
Kreayshawn,
yes.
but when she said, "Why you looking better? I be looking better." I'm just like, girl, that's exactly what we think about all the time.
Yes, they
You
Yes.
be
looking
bitter
better, and
as
I'm looking
hell.
better, bitch. Okay,
Yeah, why you looking better,
Mhm.
I be
I
looking
be
better.
looking
That's a
better.
moment.
I was thinking
Please.
about this because recently too, I like went viral and then I get a lot of weird comments from the fans and
I
I'd be
believe you.
like, oh my God, this is so crazy because and they're kind of mean. Like they want me to be constantly producing. They want like all sorts
Mm,
of stuff. And I'm like, girl, y'all need to calm down because I could take it or leave it. I don't have to do this. I'm
Mm,
beautiful.
okay.
I've had sugar daddies. I've had like men. Like I don't have to like do any of this. I will leave this
Period.
all behind and move on to a different world. Like the girls
mhm.
that know also could get a job. I'm just like a lot of these people do not. They can't go from idea to conception of a
Nope.
project. And that's
Mhm.
a skill in itself.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm weak. Okay, now
Sorry.
that we now that I'm screaming, you said the only concession you got is when you were born, girl. That's it. Calm down.
Wow.
Okay.
What a moment!
Listen, now okay,
I'm screaming.
now that we have
Mhm.
gabbed the girls by serving charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. Thank you, Mama Roo. We got to take a quick break to pay some bills. We'll be back with a cute convo with Star. More in just a sec.
Ew. All right, y'all. So as we dive into today's conversation, I wanted to understand one thing. When I was doing my Instagram stalking, which I always do before a guest comes on, there's something that you talk a lot about in your work, which is the fantasy, right? And talking about the future and talking about all of those things, right? How they connect. And so you've mentioned that you strive to live the fantasy in a world that's actively working against you, which I
Mm,
absolutely love and adore. And so that term, the fantasy and all of these words, right? These all of things serving all of these things have been things that we as the queer community and trans community have used to kind of express ourselves and to talk about who we are. And so sometimes, I do know one thing that I've been thinking a lot about is how the fantasy can be lethal for our trans siblings. And so I wanted to ask you in this moment, what does it mean for you to exist and thrive in the fantasy in this current moment?
I think like it's so interesting because I do feel like I live in my own world
Mhm.
sometimes, and I live in a place like I'm in California, I'm in LA where like I don't feel othered, super othered walking around as a trans
Mhm.
person. I don't
Yeah.
really feel
mm,
that way. And I also have privileges being like more cis passing. Like I have privileges, so I don't necessarily on my day to day deal with sort of like active transphobia. I think what I deal with more than anything is anti blackness
Mhm.
and
mm.
like misogynoir. And I
Yeah.
think um the fantasy for myself is really I just sort of built in my mind this idea that like I am sickening and Sometimes when
Love
people
it.
are hateful, it is because I am just so sickening that they cannot simply take, as we said earlier.
Mhm.
And I think that is something that really does help me sleep at night, though, because it's like I could be upset about something happening. For example, even today, I was like, I recorded a song with somebody and I gave them all these ideas. And I was like, you should use the sample of like Tyra yelling at Be Quiet Tiffany, like that would eat in a track. Why when I
Mm,
asked the boy for the track, I didn't get the track? But I look on
mm.
Instagram and the song is made.
Yeah.
My vocals are gone and the Tyra is in the thing that I told him to do is in the thing. And I was thinking to
Mm,
myself, like, girl, I'm just so sick. My ideas are just so good. It's really just like, oh, my ideas are just so good. Like I should
mhm.
really just like use them for myself. Anyway,
As you should. As you
But
should.
tangent.
actually, so no, but that's actually a great segue into my question as well, because it's like it's about like, you being a music artist, but also I love like I'm just so sick that people just want to take my ideas. Like I love that mindset because like it's like you could stay mad by it or be like I'm just so sick that people love just taking my shit. I'm like yes,
Girl.
girl, go
Mhm.
off. So I am thinking about how you take up space in the electronic pop lane as well, because I know that you're a music artist. You have done electronic pop. You work with folk still music, especially as a Black artist. When people don't always associate like this lane with Blackness, I want to know how do you thrive in this space, and also how do you navigate being a Black artist when people do take your shit like this?
I think it's so funny if you think about it because it's like a lot of white boys. And I'm like, a straight white boy especially is not gonna think about like the
Mhm.
fab things that our community creates. And that's
Facts.
why if you like think about internet language right now, everybody talks like they're a doll from 1990.
Yep.
Like, what? Like,
Yep.
girl, everybody talks like a doll. Like, I'm like, oh, you're all literally regurgitating everything that you've heard that has
Mm,
made it into your ears. And I think it is a symptom of the times. Like, people are so desperate for something that makes them feel different. And I think we live in a world, and this is
mm,
I have a larger thought about this, but I feel like post Black Lives Matter, we are living in like a reactionary phase to that because people realize that like most of their culture, most of the things that they love all came from Black people specifically.
Mhm.
And now they felt othered. And so
mm,
they're just gonna take our
Yep.
culture without having us
Yep.
and in the conversation. And I think that is why, because they don't want to feel bad. They don't want to feel bad
Mhm.
about themselves. They want to feel like, oh my God, like oh, I'm wrong or something. And that's why we have all of these white people who are all sorts of identities now and playing identity politics with each other and policing each other in order
mm,
to abscond themselves from any feeling of being the bad guy.
Mm,
And
mhm.
so when it
mm,
comes to my music and my ideas, it's like, oh, like I don't really like the music industry. I'm actually really happy that I'm working in other art forms because I know like
Mhm.
film people always are like, "Oh, film is like the most toxic industry." I'm like, actually, music I think is one of the
No.
most
Yeah.
toxic
Yep.
industries.
I agree. I agree
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
mm,
Yeah. And we can talk for days. I mean, we've had folks on the show talk about why they've intentionally stayed independent and why they've, refused to sign contracts and yada yada yada. And so I appreciate you uplifting that. And I can only imagine what it's like to be, to be I don't want to say this for it to come across as it being like dismissive, but I can imagine what it's like for you to be so I love the energy you give. I don't want to say that you're full of yourself because you're not. I want to say that you love you more than other people could ever fathom. And I love that. I love when people are like, I'm that girl, and you just have to deal with it. And I think the industry and I
mm,
think society wants to break that down. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I'm so happy that you're on the show, because that's something I feel like we tell all of our listeners, that we want folks to really listen to the show and to get that message as well. Like, you have the right to love yourself unapologetically. You have the right to have the audacity. And so I love that you're pouring into yourself. Um,
Thank
mm.
you.
yeah, so I'm gonna ask this question. I know Joho. I'll be transparent in saying this is not a me question. Joho put this question here, so I'm a rock with it. I know your last name was inspired by the Shinto goddess. I don't want to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when I really don't. So you're gonna educate me in this moment. Inspired by the Shinto goddess, and I'm curious what the process of choosing that name was like, And like when folks transition and choose their name, like what is the process like? Given how different the process may look for you or for other people, specifically in this administration, what advice would you give to folks who are in the process of trying to figure out who they are and what their name might be and how they want to kind of show up in the world?
That's so funny. I love that question. Thank you. Thank you both
Mhm.
for the combo effect of this question. When I was a teenager, like 16, 17, I started going by Star. And I always liked Star Shine. Like for some reason that stood out to me. I think there's a
Mm,
musical Hair and they say Star Shine. You know, they think about Star Shine, the earth says hello. And so I wanted to be Star Shine. When I was 19, I had left Austin, Texas, where I was, and I moved to San Francisco. And there was this queer youth center called Lyric, and they had like a
mm,
lawyer who would go with you to the courthouse to file your name
Mm,
change paperwork.
mm, mhm,
mm,
So I was like Starshine kind of at the time, and I was trying to find words that meant shining or to shine or something like that. Like I was like, I want something that means shining. So when I was on a baby naming website, I seen Amaterasu. Like it was like lots of goddesses' names, and Amaterasu was there, and I was like, "Oh, that's beautiful." Like, "Ooh, it's shining one in heaven," I think is what it translates to,
mm,
similar to that. I was like, "Yes, I'm star shining one in heaven." And
mhm.
so, okay, I like thought about the name. Then a couple weeks later, I missed my first appointment to go to the courthouse. It's okay. The, lawyer got back with me, he rocked with me, he was like, I know the dolls are on doll time." So the second appointment I go I know this is a long story, I'm sorry, but the
It's
second
not
This
long
no,
at
this
appointment
is
all.
great.
Tell the
This is
story,
great.
baby. I love it.
the second appointment I go, right? So I'm there, I'm like, Amerasu." I fill out the paperwork. We file the court work paperwork. I go to court then a few weeks later, and the judge is like, "Okay, Amarasu." My name is signed. They notarize the paper. Why I googled my last name, Amarasu, and nothing showed up. I was like, "No, Amarasu," and then I look and I'm like, Amaterasu. And I was like, "Oh my god,
Mm,
like, I totally spelled
no,
it wrong." And then I was like, "That's fab, actually, because now I have my own name that's,
that's
like,
more cunty. That's actually more cunty.
honestly,
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
I have the name that a 19-year-old went and filed paperwork for, not realizing that and not double checking that she spelled it right. And honestly, I feel like it's so iconic because I
No,
don't
it
want to be
really is like current
appropriating
behavior.
Japanese culture anyway. So I'm like, girl, I'm not Japanese. I'm literally just Amarasu, and it's a completely made up name. So there we go.
There, I love it. Oh, I love it. That is so cute.
Oh my god,
Not,
I love it.
there you
Good
I
go.
love
story.
it so much. Well,
Yeah.
so because I first because like so I so like I'm a hugely into Japanese culture, read a lot of manga and anime. Read a lot of manga, watched a lot of anime growing up, and so at first I thought it was inspired by Naruto, which is an anime where they're like one of the special moves is Amaterasu, and it's it's a star shaped like ninja art. It's a lot of lore that I'm not gonna get into, but at first I was inspired by that. And so hearing this is sending me because it's just so not what I was expecting you to say at all. And then when you when you said that you signed it, Amarasu, my first thought was like, did she just did she oh no.
Mhm.
No. But
It's cute. I
honestly,
love that story.
that is iconic. That is like iconic behavior. Like everything
Mhm.
you're saying and doing, I'm like, okay, like this is what it means, like the joy of living in your world, like the joy of living
Yes.
in your own world. Like it's
Yes.
so powerful. And like
Fully.
I also feel like it's such a direct response of like this is what manifestation looks like. Like when you truly trust and believe in yourself fully, like, and you can do anything and you're fucking doing it. And I live so much. My
Thank
last question for you
you.
is, your content is so fun and imaginative and different. And I want to, and like, and different in the sense of like, you do so many things. Like, you are multifaceted. So I
Mhm.
want to know, like, what
Mhm.
inspires you for it? What inspires you to make content? What inspires you to make music? What inspires you to like just show up as your full self? What moves you into these different lanes? Being so multi hyphenated in all that you do and are.
Well, often, I just kind of go with my gut. I think we've sort of danced around that in this conversation, but like my intuition really is like what
Mm,
I lead myself by it and I follow it. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like I'm
Mhm.
just going through. I forgot one part to answer back to something from the previous thing is for the other folks listening who are trying
Yes.
to go through their processes too, is like just stick to you how you feel. And I think that is touches into the whole thing of like just go with how you feel. Like
Yeah.
some days I'm like, oh, I really love DJing. Like this, I had a show last weekend, and every time I do like a good show, it always reminds me, I'm like, actually, I really love music so
Mhm.
much. Like I love other
Mm,
people's music. I love playing music. I love dancing. And, like, going with what I feel joy in is has never led me the wrong way. It's always
Right,
led
right,
me to
yeah.
great situations and meeting
mm,
great people. And I think with the, like, Instagram stuff, to me, it is part of a job in order to get what I want, which is to have my own show and to be creating, like, films and be an actress, really. And
Yeah.
I think in our modern day, you kinda have to do all of these things, and you have to be your own promo in order
Yep.
to really be seen. Like, there are casting directors that are looking at like people's Instagrams and they're following and shit before they cast them. And so for me, it came out of like being frustrated. Like making that first video I made that went viral, I was like frustrated because I was like, no, I'm not getting sent any castings. Like nobody's sending me anything. I'm just gonna make
mm,
myself like the villain. And I was like, I'm gonna make myself the villain and the ingenue in one video, and now people will
mm,
see multiple dimensions of me, and it kind of like caught on immediately. And if you notice, like a lot of the videos I make currently of the AI in the future, I'm a villain, and I'm also the girl who's like trying to figure out how the world works. And I think being both of those
Mhm.
girls, those girls live inside of me, and I think like it's fun
mm,
to be able to create a character that is crazy and doing stuff that I would never do, and then also be sort of myself. It's like, it's a beautiful dichotomy, I think.
mm. Ugh, I love that answer. I love the answer, and
Mhm.
I love so much of, like, hearing you say, like, when, what a great way to show your own range and to do it yourself. Like, that's just really, really fantastic to say, like, "I can do both. I know I can do both. I
Mhm.
will do both. You can now see how I can do both. You can cast me because you know I can do both. I can do
Mhm.
all the above. I am a one you are a one-woman show." Like, you could do yeah, that's just
A bisexual baddie.
unlimited is what's
Ew,
giving.
unlimited.
Unlimited.
Wake it up.
Come on. Wake that shit up,
Unlimited.
please. Love.
Yes, 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 yes. We have to wake it up. All right. With that being said, now that we have lived our best fantasy in this segment, we have to take a break. And when we get back, we are going to jump into our journalistic bag and ask some hard hitting questions. We'll be back in a
Oh
second.
Okay, fam, we are black and we are back. And this week, we're not jumping to pop culture bag. This has been a while since we've done it. John, you set us up saying we have some journalistic questions. So I'm going to toss
Yes.
this to you, see what we got in the hard hitting
Yes. So
moments.
I'm laughing right now because Joe, why it sound like you in a prison?
No, because the way I gotta keep my voice down this month for
You have to
one,
keep your
just to
voice
make
down.
sure
I
no one
know, I
tries to
know.
like
So
it's
for full
I feel
transparency for
like
our
I'm
listeners,
whispering.
we have been the last 2 weeks have been rough for us on this show.
Rough
Last week
bitch.
my internet was going out, and then this week Joho is not recording at home. So
It's
we
crazy.
are
Also,
but
this new mic, she's sensitive.
yeah, she picked up
I feel like I hear
everything.
myself like so loudly, and I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, I feel like I am a mouse right now. Quiet
No,
as
you're
kept, but
good.
damn.
It just made me
Ooh.
chuckle. But this week for our next segment, we're getting into our what's poppin' bag. It's been a couple of weeks since we've actually done what's poppin'. And for folks for folks who have been following the news the way that I've been following the news, I have been noticing a trend, and I'm noticing people turning on popular celebrities. And so first it was J Lo, and then now I'm seeing everybody turn on Katy Perry. I laughed because did y'all see that Wendy's tweet when Wendy when they were like, "Oh, Katy Perry made it back to Earth," and then Wendy's was like, "Y'all should have left Katy Perry there." And I just was
Wendy's
like,
was
wait a
wild
second.
for
Like,
that. I saw
people
that.
have
Right.
thrown Katy Perry to the wolves. And so I just wanted to quickly, just again, because I love being in mixed company and I know that we're all a little bit shady, I wanted to ask y'all, like, why do y'all think that both of them are getting so much heat? And do y'all feel like it's necessary? Like, I've been like, I'm not a huge fan of J-Lo, so I want to make that very clear. And I do like some of Katy Perry's songs. But I also know that she's real dumb for doing what she did in space. And so I'm just wanting to know, like, is it me or like what started it? Like what do y'all think actually started, the backlash on J-Lo and Katy Perry? I just want to talk about it. So Star, we'll go to you and then we'll go to Joho.
No, I feel like Joho wants to talk, but
No, no,
because
no,
I
Okay.
no,
need
no,
to
no.
formulate my thought.
Go ahead,
I
go
need to
ahead, go
think
ahead.
about it.
Sorry, my first face was like you said popular celebrities, and I was like, well, hold on,
Oops.
can we define can we define the question first? Because I don't know,
Oops.
people love some J Lo for sure.
Right.
Okay, and
Uh-huh.
I could not
Mhm.
understand why. Now
Mhm.
listen, you give Miss Girl a rom com, I'm sad. You give her a mic,
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that. Okay,
T.
but Katy
Right.
Perry, like J Lo, I can say earned it, but Katy Perry, I'm like okay, and I was a kitty cat for the first 2 years for the first two albums for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
So okay, so there's this article right where she says that she regrets the spaceship ride only because she wishes the video from Inside the Pod was never shown. And this is my thing. Girl, you knew from
Mm.
jump this was a PR stunt.
Right.
And you decide don't be mad because you was a clown. Like you was a clown and the media had a circus. Girl, you knew full well what you were doing when you
Barnum and Bailey.
did that damn daisy into the damn thing and started flashing into the thing and then hear the little butterfly,
Yeah.
girl. You know what's happening. You don't be mad that your stunt backfired, bitch.
You
Like
got caught.
that's what
Yeah.
happened.
You got
And so
caught up
like,
in.
do I think it's deserved? Yes, because Miss Girl is trying so hard to be relevant. Like, sorry to be relevant. And she's just like, it's like, girl, you're doing all the wrong things. It's like literally whoever her PR team is needs to get
They need
fired
to she
because
needs to
they are
fire
not
her.
giving her
Yeah.
the right
She
things to
needs to
do.
fire
Okay,
them.
and
Mhm.
then
I
she's may just
agree.
need to use some like critical thinking herself. I'm not saying she's like I don't think she's dumb. Like I'm not saying that at all. I just don't think she's thinking about what her career is. And like I think she sees herself kindly differently than how other people see her.
Mm.
Mm.
I think like she's living in the fantasy, but I don't know if that fantasy pays off for her. Okay, and
Yes,
like
yes, yes.
you,
Is
it's one thing
she
to
really?
like you
Mm.
can live in the fantasy, and the
Mhm.
fantasy lives in you. But I
Yeah.
don't think the fantasy lives in her. And so I'm
No.
like, girl, like
No.
it's
Yeah.
just like and like
Like,
she had that song on her album. The album was a flop. She had that one song that like she thought was gonna be like a woman's empowerment. Everyone was like, this song is so bad, and she made that song with someone with what's his face, the guy that everyone was like, why are you working with him? Like she's just not making good decisions for her career. So it's like, girl, you wanna know why people are mad at you because you doing dumbass shit. And
right.
so yes, it is deserved, but also like critique every artist, girl. Like at the end of the day, even Gayle King, Live Laugh Love Her. Why was
I
she
was
in that? Why was she in that
mhm,
thing too?
mhm,
Why was she in there? Why was Auntie in there? And why Aunt? And this is also sad because she had 2 days of everyone living for her for that damn belt, and then she'd open her mouth and be
yep,
like, "Have you
and
been
ruined
before?"
it,
Bitch, have
and
you been?
ruined it.
You haven't been until today. What you mean? Have you been before, girl? You think let's go to space willy nilly? Like I just for sure think it goes go to space, girl. So critique all celebrities. They all deserve it at the end of the day,
They all
unfortunately.
deserve it. What about you, Star? Anything that you wanna add?
The thing about it is, like, I don't know if it I feel like the thing is that if they don't realize that that they are a meme, that's where they lose their power in it all. Like with Katie, for example, I'm like,
They
now
cut
she
out a little
went
bit.
there and she did that all on purpose to be funny.
Mhm.
I rock with it, honestly, because I do think that we live in such a farce like society that
Mm.
like, yeah, it's like let me just be insane on this plane or shuttle,
Hmm.
I guess, like for the like hilarity of it. But I don't know, like as you said, I don't know if she thought of it that way. Like I don't know if she
Yeah,
was
like if you're in on the joke, girl, then that's great. But
right.
if you
And
aren't,
if she is in on the joke and she's like pulling a stunt right now, then I think it was an effective stunt in the fact that
Mhm.
she is like completely memes like all over. You know, like everybody is
that's
talking about Katy Perry. Now
that's
J-Lo,
fair.
I don't know what Jenny from the block did. Well, what did she do wrong? I don't know why people hating on her.
What
I
does she
I
do
don't get it
successfully?
either. Yeah, but what has she quickly, but no,
Quickly.
like, I don't like, I and again, I don't wanna come across as petty because, like, the thing is, like, I'm noticing a trend of people turning on celebrities, and I guess I'm trying
Right.
to ask the question of, like, what do I need to do to make sure that our listeners don't turn on us?
Right.
Because
Well.
Like,
In
yeah,
this
I want to.
economy, there's no hope really. In the comments, people
Yeah,
are just monstrous.
If I become that famous with that much
right.
money, honestly, girl, turn on me. That's fine. Cause
Please,
because
like,
because you know
keep
what?
me
I don't care, bitch. I'm
humble.
rich. I'm not
Keep me
tripping on that.
that part.
Right.
Also,
Tell
Okay.
our
her.
facts,
I'm
true,
kidding.
true
You can
Girl,
statements,
turn
they
on me.
they
turn people
cry.
turn on minor celebrities, major celebrities. It's just kind of
Yeah, but
like
also like don't do dumb shit. Like I'm not gonna be in a
right.
in a spacecraft flopping around my little daisy. Like that's just not what I'm be doing.
And now I might. Like I might just, but I feel like it would be like in a shake and go wig, perhaps
Make it a moment.
with
Or give me a
with
performance.
some
Like
yeah,
perform
it
in
would
space,
give kind
girl.
of performance. I might lip
Yes.
sync. It might give me Katy Perry in the spaceship, Gayle King's the judge, and we're lip syncing for our lives.
Yes, love for our life.
Now
See,
that
now
Britney
that is
Spears,
a
it
concept.
would give you. I would be up in space. Do you remember Britney Spears' "Born to Make You Happy" video? That's what I would be given in space. Like I'd be in space with a crop top on, and I'd be
hmm
dancing with a whole bunch of dancers, like in a
Okay,
spaceship,
see,
singing. I
now
was born
this
to
is
make you
like
happy. Yeah.
now this is a genius. Now this is a genius. We should take this to Hollywood. Like
Yes.
people in space guys lip syncing to come back down to Earth.
Yeah.
yes.
Like if Survivor Space, Survivor Space with a
Yes.
little bit of
Yes.
lip syncs for gravity. If you can't,
Yeah.
if
Like
you
those
don't
people
win,
who were in the ship for 8 months,
you
have
stay
them
up.
up there. Yes, like you stay up there if you don't. Yes, but if you lip sync for your life and you actually win, you get to come back to Earth. That's a really
And
good
I
TV
would be
show.
kick flipping in that anti-gravity so crazy.
Yes.
They're gonna send my
Uh-huh.
ass back
Girl,
down
I will shablam everywhere
immediately.
in that damn place. Okay, you guys,
Look,
Right. It's
every day
giving
I'd be
please.
dipping and diving. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. So I don't know if we have time for this question. Joho, do we still have time or no? Do we need to push?
I know. I have 15 minutes, so I think it's
Okay,
fine.
I'm gonna ask this question real quick, real spicy, and just we're gonna go there and then we'll run out of here. I want to ask this question real quick, and I know it's spicy and I know it might get us in trouble, but Star, I want to ask you specifically: are you making any predictions on what celebrities who might get canceled next? And we're looking at you, Gayle,
I don't know. I feel like
and we can bleep their names if you want.
I don't really know. Honestly, I
Okay.
have no clue.
Okay, good. Well, this is just a segment to tell that if you are a celebrity and you're listening, girl, watch
But you know
yourself.
what? Like this is where y'all can take a page from Beyonce's book. She don't say nothing, and people drag her for it. But the very least, she can't say nothing. She won't say nothing.
Correct.
That'll get her more in trouble. She
Correct.
keeps quiet. Mum's the word. So like,
Mhm.
Oh, you know what? Someone will get
Mom
canceled
is the word.
new a Disney Channel celeb, like grown up
Oh,
one, I'm guessing. That's next.
is it who
wait,
I
which
think it is?
is it? The Chris Biblis? Is it Sabrina Carpenter? You mean Espresso Girl?
Oh my god, is she a Disney Channel person?
She is. She is.
Oh shit, I
Wait,
didn't know
are you
that.
thinking Raven?
No, I'm just throwing it out there
Yeah.
just to say. Just
Okay.
kind of
I'm just
like,
saying a
oh,
Disney
like
girl. No big
my
deal.
like I
Stay.
talked to my psychics and my I just was like, oh, someone from Disney.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
honestly,
So
I'm here
Miley,
for it.
maybe?
Ooh, you know what? We'll wait and see.
We'll
I'm
wait and
sure
see.
I am sure Mystic Star
This
will
will
prove
make
us
good
right
content.
and we'll be like, girl,
Yes.
you saw it coming.
So yeah. Okay. We'll
I
have to cut all that
scream.
out.
Oh my god. Okay. Whew.
Sorry that you have to cut it out. Also, oh my god, crazy the Pope died.
Oh.
Sorry.
I love that we're 3 segments in and you're like, oh girl, the Pope died. Yes, bitch. He
I
got up
know.
out of here.
That was
I was scared to
okay.
talk before. Don't cancel me, please.
Star, wait. Star, that was the first thing we said early at the top of the
Please
show.
don't cancel
Just
me.
processed and she said, oh shit, the Pope died. Yes, girl, she got up out of here.
Oh my god. Okay,
Mm.
y'all, we gotta say Molly. Ooh, Molly, we in danger, girl. We know, you know. Ooh, Molly, we in danger, girl. But you know who won't be in danger? Us. Actually, sorry, Molly, you're in danger, girl. We are not, because we mind our business
Nope,
to pay our bills. Okay.
that part.
Speaking of bills, we got a few more to pay. Back with more of our show and y'all's favorite segment in just a moment. Back inside.
All right. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into our last segment. And this is where we ask the dolls, we ask everybody, what are the things that you are celebrating this week, or what are the things that you are not? And so, with that being said, as we get into our Yes Ma'am and our No Ma'am Pam segment, I am celebrating this week the idea of Black owned bookstores. I had a chance this week to actually go to one in Las Vegas, as you all saw. I was at the Analog Dope store doing a talk with the wonderful Andre, who does a whole bunch of LG. Andre Wade is their name. They do a whole bunch of amazing queer work in Nevada. And so I just wanted to make sure that I posit that. But all that to be said, just being in conversation with them, being around Black people, being in a Black store, it was all a Black queer owned store. I want to make sure I make that very clear and queer, that it was an absolute amazing experience. And so, yes, if you have a chance, if you're from Vegas, if you're a listener who's from Vegas, go to Analog Dope, buy their books, support them. They've been around for 3 years and they are doing some really, really cool stuff over there. As for my No Man Pam, so as you all know, I live on a plane at this point. I want to say no, ma'am, to people who literally don't know the cologne or the perfume limit. 3 to 4 sprays in a small area. Please. Somebody on my flight, and it was cheap. I knew it was cheap because my asthma started acting up. Sprayed all this cologne and then got on the plane, and everybody was coughing on the plane for the 45, 50 minutes we were on the plane.
Oh
Baby, if you are,
no.
can you not? Like, that is just my prayer. Please make sure that you know how many sprays to spray if you are going to spray perfume or cologne before you get on a plane. I just want to say that. What are your yes ma'ams and your no ma'am pams for this week, love?
Yes, ma'am, going on a walk.
Okay.
Diva, go on a walk. No, ma'am. It's so funny is also being on a plane. It's just being on a plane in general is no, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Though we have to do it. But
See.
yes, it's so stressful. And I've been having the thing where I was sitting next to this boy and he was like so serious and I felt I had to pee, girl. It's like when you get on the plane, you gotta pee and you're in the window. And I was like, oh my God, like, excuse me, sir, like I need to
Yes,
get
I
up.
gotta
And
get
then he was
up.
like so pissed. And I was like, girl,
It's not that
it's not
deep.
my fault.
Right.
We're on a plane, girl. Anyway, so
Yeah.
that's my no ma'am is people with attitudes.
Yeah. People with attitudes, especially when you fly. And it's like, come on. Like I like that's my biggest thing is like people take themselves way too seriously in the airport. People take themselves way too seriously on a plane. I hear
Mm-hmm.
you wholeheartedly. And I
Oh my
definitely
God.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, no, no. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it just made me think about thinking about somebody smelling on the plane. This funny story, because I'll keep it short. This lady, so I get on the plane. This girl in the hijab gets on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So she sits, the girl in the hijab, and then this older white lady sits in the window, and her son's in the middle. So the girl was wearing some strong perfume, like oud, like some kind of oud, but it wasn't too crazy. But the lady was like, "I'm sensitive." She's like, ugh, like having a full meltdown. No, like vocally. And then she goes to the girl and
Yeah.
she's like, "I'm so sorry." She calls to the attendant. The attendant, she's like, "Can I move seats? This girl's perfume is just too smelly. I just can't handle it. I can't sit here. Can I sit in the front? Is there open seats in first class?" And the lady's like, "No, you can't go to first class, lady." And she's like,
No.
"Oh, well, it's just the smell." And she's like, "Okay, well, there's a seat actually in the back of the plane. You want to go sit? There's an open seat in the back, so we can go ahead and take you back there." And she was like, "Oh, well, no, but and then the lady's like, "Are we gonna have a problem?" And the girl in the hijab is like looking around and she's like, "No, I don't have a problem. I love all people. Wait, I love all people." She's having a
This is
full meltdown.
just so much to happen on a
I
plane.
know, and she starts crying.
Of course
And
she
so
did.
now she's having a breakdown. And now
Was she?
everybody's looking around.
Was she?
She was a white lady,
Okay,
mind
of
you.
course. Uh-huh.
So then
Yeah.
her son goes, he turns to her and says, "Mom, you just need to quit it." And
Yeah.
then in a discussion. So that was
Just
sorry,
yeah,
non
flying in
sequitur.
general. I've been saying this, and thank you, Janelle James, for giving me this in my lexicon. I want to make sure that I don't say it as if it's my own. But Janelle James has a whole. If you haven't seen her comedy special on Netflix, please get to it. She has a whole thing on Netflix where she talks about bus people being on planes now, and that is literally what it gives. It very much gives. There are a lot of Greyhound people that have literally started going, have been choosing to go to the sky to fly, and that is literally what it is giving. So yeah, I definitely, as someone who has literally flown almost 7 times this month, I feel this conversation in my spirit. Yeah, girl, I have been back. I've gone to New York this month.
Okay.
I have gone to Portland this month. I have gone to where did I just come back from? I went from Austin to Vegas and now home, and then next week I'll be up in Berkeley. So yeah, I have literally not been home for more than a week before I have to fly again this month, all because of this book, which I'm very thankful and grateful for. But I definitely feel this conversation deep in this like the bowels of my shindo. All right, Joho, what's your yes ma'am and your no ma'am for this week? Okay, y'all. Well, with that being said, now that we all have gotten all of these wonderful things off of our souls, please send us your thoughts, your feedback in your email at blackfatfempod@gmail.com. You can also send us your thoughts via social media by interacting with our post on Instagram and Twitter by using the handle at blackfatfempod. Queen Joho, where can the dolls find you? Star, where can the dolls find you? Or where do you, let me ask you, where do you want to be found?
The girls can find me on Instagram at Star Amerazu or
Okay.
my personal website, star1234.info.
You are absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for being here with me this week. I appreciate you, the house down boots. I appreciate everybody for listening. As for me and as it, in my household, y'all can go to www.drjohnpaul.com. You can find more information about my book tour. You can find more information about the book. And like many people have said, they've seen my book out in the wild. Drop me a line if you see my book somewhere, you want to just grab it and take a picture with it and shoot it over. I love to know where my book is and how it's reaching people. So thank you everybody who's been doing that. That's been really fun to see and really fun to hear. With that being said, we want to thank our wonderful producer Bay Wang for all of the logistics and for getting Star here. Like, we went through some stuff, but baby, you've made it. We got you on the show, Henny. Yes, God, Nessa, we got you on the show. So I'm really happy to have this in our as we're coming up on episode 150. We're very happy that you are a part of that legacy. With that being
Wow.
said, yes, babe, we made it happen.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Iconic behavior.
Very that. You are episode 148. And so we're very happy to know that you are a part of this legacy that is the Black Fat Femme podcast. With that being said, we also want to say thank you to our wonderful editor, Chris Rogers, because without him, we wouldn't have no audio and we wouldn't have any visual for the tubes of you. And if you have not gone down to the tubes of you to like and subscribe to our page, just let you all know it is free. It's free content. A lot of folks are putting that stuff behind paywalls now, and we got you free content. So head on down to the Tubes of You, subscribe and like, and tell all your mama and your aunties to come on down to the Black Fat Femme show and watch our episodes. That being said, this has been another show. Stay black, fat, femme, and fabulous. And remember, we may not be your cup of tea, but drink some water. You probably need it anyway. I love us for real. Bye.